In the eerie confines of Raccoon City, Dr. Marcus, founder of the Umbrella Corporation, is on a fervent quest. His daughter Alicia suffers from a rare disease causing premature aging, and Marcus is determined to save her. In his desperation, he even records Alicia's voice and likeness as a precaution. Marcus's relentless search leads to a breakthrough: the T-virus, capable of curing a myriad of diseases. This discovery is a beacon of hope for Alicia, and soon the Umbrella Corporation starts selling this miraculous cure. However, the narrative takes a dark turn. In a South African cable car, a child treated with the Umbrella medicine suffers a severe allergic reaction and transforms into an undead, attacking the others. The journey ends in tragedy, with all passengers either dead or mutated. This catastrophe is quickly covered up by Marcus's partner, Isaacs. A rift forms between them over the T-virus. Marcus wants it destroyed, seeing its dangers, but Isaac sees its military potential and has Marcus killed by Agent Wesker. With Marcus gone, Isaacs takes over, becoming the guardian of Alicia and controlling her share of the company, now the sole ruler of Umbrella's ominous path. In the years that follow, the Umbrella Corporation ascends to global dominance, and Isaacs, overwhelmed by the company's expansion, creates an AI named Red Queen. Remarkably, this AI bears the likeness of Alicia, a tribute made possible by Marcus's earlier recordings. A decade later, a catastrophic virus outbreak ravages Raccoon City, leading to a government-ordered bombing. However, this drastic measure fails to contain the T-virus, now an airborne menace. Within days, a pandemic sweeps across the globe, decimating much of humanity. Amidst this chaos, Alice, alongside a band of survivors, converges on Washington, D.C. for a final stand. But their plans unravel into a deadly trap. Alice narrowly escapes, seeking refuge in a metal hatch. When the dust settles, she emerges to a scene of destruction, with even the White House in ruins. While attempting to quench her thirst at the National Mall, Alice is ambushed by an undead emerging from the water. A fierce struggle ensues, but Alice manages to escape, exploiting the creature's limitation. It's ensnared by razor wires. Alice then scours the rubble for weapons, but her search yields little. Suddenly, the debris stirs, and a winged undead emerges. In a desperate bid for survival, Alice dashes to a jeep. Her quick thinking and agile driving cause the creature to collide with another vehicle, allowing her a momentary escape. But the relentless monster soon returns, tearing off the jeep's roof with its claws. As it lunges at Alice with its tail, she accelerates, causing another crash. Seizing the moment, Alice rams the undead with the car, pinning it. Discovering explosives in the vehicle, she quickly activates them and flees, leaving the creature to its fiery demise. As Alice navigates the aftermath of her recent encounter, a piercing siren suddenly echoes through the air, accompanied by the whir of a secret camera focusing on her. Intrigued and cautious, Alice sets out to uncover the source of this disturbance. Her search leads her to an underground bunker, a veritable arsenal of weapons, yet eerily devoid of any human presence. In the midst of this solitude, a fax machine whirs to life, repeatedly printing a message. "Hello, Alice." This is soon followed by the activation of nearby screens, revealing the Red Queen. In a surprising turn, the AI claims to have turned against Umbrella and pleads with Alice to stop her. Their conversation is abruptly cut short by the appearance of another undead. However, with a timely warning from the Red Queen, Alice swiftly decapitates the creature with a series of precise movements. The Red Queen then delivers a dire warning. Humanity has only 48 hours left. Alice's mission is clear. She must return to Raccoon City and infiltrate Umbrella's main laboratory, the Hive. There, she will find an airborne antidote capable of eradicating the T-virus and all its infected hosts upon contact. Armed with this new objective, Alice takes a fresh car and heads towards Raccoon City. Her journey is abruptly interrupted when she crashes through a barricade, shredding the car's tires and wrecking it. Fortuitously, she discovers an Umbrella motorcycle nearby. As she approaches, a soldier emerges from the rubble, forcing her into a trap that leaves her suspended upside down. This precarious situation escalates as more soldiers arrive and begin assaulting her. But Alice, undeterred and even amused, fights back with remarkable agility, still hanging. She swiftly incapacitates several soldiers before drawing a gun from her boot, quickly neutralizing the remaining assailants. She shoots the rope to free herself, and when the soldiers attack again, she swiftly eliminates them. Alice attempts to use the umbrella motorcycle, but being an outsider, the bike electrocutes her, rendering her unconscious. She later awakens in a cramped cell alongside other prisoners. To her shock, Isaacs appears, revealing that the Isaacs she had previously killed was merely a clone. He boasts of having eliminated all of Alice's clones, keeping their heads as macabre trophies. Suddenly, a door opens, and Alice discovers her cell is within a colossal umbrella tank, pursued by a horde of undead. In a cruel twist, she's thrown outside, her hands bound to the tank, forcing her to run or be trampled. During a close encounter with an undead, Alice manages to overpower it, but her situation is dire. Seizing an opportunity, Alice hides beneath the tank. When a guard leans over, she ambushes him, throwing him to the ravenous undead. Another guard emerges, but Alice, having climbed atop the tank, swiftly dispatches him to the same fate. Isaacs then confronts her, leading to a fierce battle. Both are skilled fighters, exchanging powerful blows. Alice eventually gains the upper hand, attempting to strangle Isaacs with the rope. He retaliates, but Alice uses the rope to slam his head against the tank. The undead join the fray, but Alice deftly handles them before Isaacs pulls her back into the fight. The combat continues, with Alice eventually securing Isaacs in a chokehold and compelling him to unlock her handcuffs. Freed, she gains the advantage, nearly defeating Isaacs until another tank intervenes, opening fire on them. In a critical moment, Alice spots an umbrella motorcycle inside the tank. She swiftly severs Isaacs's hand and uses it to activate the bike, making her escape. The tank's driver, Lee, attempts to stop her with turrets and missiles, but Alice skillfully evades his attacks and successfully flees. Hours later, Alice reaches Raccoon City, now marked by a massive pit at its center. As she navigates the streets, a sudden flash of light blinds her, and a crashing pole demolishes her motorcycle, knocking her unconscious. Upon awakening, she finds herself with a man named Doc, who is about to inject her with something. Reacting quickly, Alice stops him and takes him hostage, just as a group of armed individuals appears. They are on the verge of attacking her when Claire, an old friend of Alice, intervenes, assuring the group that Alice is an ally. The group ascends to the rooftop, where they observe Isaacs approaching with 2 tanks and an army of undead. They realize they need a plan, but Alice suddenly starts coughing and collapses. Doc administers medicine, aiding her recovery. Once recovered, Alice agrees to help defend their fortress against Isaacs's impending assault, in exchange for their assistance in locating the antidote later. The team is short on weapons but has an abundance of gasoline, which they use to construct several catapults. As night descends, Isaacs and his army arrive. Launching a fiery projectile, the team destroys one of Isaacs' tanks. Isaacs halts the remaining tank and orders his soldiers to release a bait, a survivor. The undead chase after her, and Alice opens the building to let her in while the others gun down the pursuing undead with bullets and another flaming projectile. Just as the survivor nears the gate, the tank fires, killing her, and some undead breach the building before the door can be sealed. Doc and Claire valiantly battle the undead, but Isaacs instructs Lee to shoot the door, causing an explosion that throws the couple back. The rest of the team drops rocks from above, crushing several undead, but Lee counters by firing at the roof to thwart further traps. On the ground floor, the team fights desperately to prevent the undead from breaking through the barricade. The battle is fierce, and they manage to eliminate numerous monsters, but eventually one of their own is bitten and falls. Knowing the barricade won't last, they rush upstairs to douse the area with gasoline and ignite it with torches, incinerating the undead below. Alice then ziplines to the ground, shooting zombies as she advances towards the tank. Lee opens fire, but Alice remains concealed and climbs atop the tank, pouring gasoline into the vent and setting it ablaze. The tank grinds to a halt, and when a soldier emerges from the hatch, Alice swiftly eliminates him. Lee then emerges, engaging Alice in hand-to-hand combat and eventually overpowering her. As they fight on the ground, an undead distracts Lee, giving Alice the chance to shoot him down. She then enters the tank, quickly dispatching another undead and discovering 2 more survivors, but Isaacs is nowhere to be found. As Alice emerges, her team arrives, efficiently dispatching more monsters and capturing Lee. They tie him to the tank, using him as bait to lure the undead away. However, they soon spot 2 additional armies converging on the city, prompting a hasty decision to head to the Hive in search of the cure. The 2 survivors rescued from the tank Familiar with the destination, join the mission. The most direct route to the Hive lies through the pit, so the team starts their descent, unaware that Isaacs is observing them from a distance. Meanwhile, Wesker monitors their progress through the Red Queen's security system. Reaching the pit's bottom, the team finds themselves encircled by dog-like monsters. A frantic escape ensues as they fire at the pursuing creatures. Although they manage to eliminate a few, the monsters retaliate, killing and devouring one of the team members. The group immediately swims away and the dogs follow them, so when they reach the shore, another team member gets killed. As the whole horde catches up to them, another person goes down. But the rest of the group runs fast enough to enter a tunnel into the Hive, where the dogs are too afraid to go. In that instant, Wesker commands the Red Queen to close the entrance, prompting the group to hasten inside. While navigating the tunnel, Alice encounters an undead. She engages in a brief skirmish, fending it off just long enough to escape, leaving the creature to be crushed by the closing door. Once inside, the Red Queen welcomes them and displays a video from a pre-outbreak Umbrella meeting. In the footage, Isaacs is seen plotting the apocalypse with the T-virus, intending to wipe out humanity except for himself and select Umbrella executives, aiming to reshape the world as they see fit. The Red Queen, restricted from harming Umbrella staff, seeks Alice's assistance and provides her with an earpiece for continuous communication. She also cautions Alice about a traitor among them, but Alice dismisses the warning. Meanwhile, outside the city, Isaacs encounters another Umbrella tank. The soldiers, having different orders, refuse to pursue Alice, leading Isaacs to eliminate them on the spot. Rejoining the group, they proceed down the main corridor and encounter a large fan blocking their path. With the power off, Alice cautiously moves through the fan blades to the other side. The rest start to follow, but the power suddenly returns, activating the blades. The team narrowly avoids them and crosses safely. Watching through a security camera, Wesker orders the fan to reverse, pulling the team towards it. They grasp onto anything they can, but one girl fails to find a hold. Alice tries to save her, but the fan's force is too strong, and after a fierce struggle, the girl is tragically pulled in and killed by the fan before the power shuts off again. Subsequently, the team navigates through a vent, guided by Alice's digital map. Abruptly, the power is restored, and a section of the floor gives way, plunging a man onto a shaft. As he clings to a door to avoid falling, the door snaps shut, severing his fingers and sending him plummeting to his demise in a sinister cavern. More trapdoors open, scattering the team through various tunnels. Alice lands in a dimly lit lab strewn with bodies, sensing movement in the shadows. Another team member crashes into the room and they proceed together until a reanimated corpse distracts him, allowing another creature to ambush and kill him from behind. Alice, struck in the melee, swiftly recovers and fires at the beast with her dual guns, momentarily subduing it. However, the creature quickly revives and stealthily tracks Alice using the beam of her dropped flashlight. Seizing an opportunity, it lunges at her again, but Alice cleverly uses a chain to entangle it. She then makes a run for it, striking the creature whenever possible. The monster attempts pursuit, but the chain restricts its movement, allowing Alice to deliver a fatal stab to its head. Startled by a sudden hand, Alice finds it's just Doc, and together they exit the laboratory. In the headquarters, Wesker revives the authentic Isaacs, indicating that the one from the tank is a clone. Meanwhile, that clone Isaacs exits the tank and starts sprinting, drawing the horde after him. Elsewhere, Claire finds herself trapped in a transparent box, but manages to break free using gunpowder from a bullet, oblivious to Wesker's proximity. Shifting back to Alice and Doc, they stumble upon a perilous zone from their initial adventure and discover a stash of weapons left by their former team. With the clock ticking down to 19 minutes, Alice operates a computer to activate a descending platform in the Hive, revealing cryogenically frozen Umbrella executives awaiting the apocalypse's end. Enraged, Alice retrieves explosives from the found bag to set a trap. She and Doc then exit the elevator, venturing into a mysterious cavern. They quickly traverse a bridge over water to reach the main office, where the genuine Isaacs confronts them. With only 9 minutes remaining, Isaacs discloses his possession of the antidote. He coerces Alice into surrendering her weapon by threatening to destroy the cure. Unexpectedly, Doc, revealed as the traitor, forces Alice to also relinquish her detonator. Wesker enters with Claire as his captive, while Alice surveys the room, assessing every possible method to incapacitate Isaacs. However, Isaacs, enhanced with cyborg implants, confidently asserts that she wouldn't be fast enough to utilize any object in the room effectively. He reveals to Alice that she is not the original as she believed, but merely another clone, which explains her lack of childhood memories. At that moment, an elderly woman in a wheelchair appears. It's Alicia, now grown up, whose DNA was the template for all Alice clones. Her illness has aged her prematurely. Alicia, desiring Isaac's demise but too frail to confront him, still holds 50% ownership of the company and uses this power to dismiss Wesker. This action enables the Red Queen to injure Wesker, swiftly dropping a blast door that crushes his leg and traps him. Doc, attempting to intervene, fires his gun, but Alice, having anticipated his betrayal, had already removed the bullets. A fight ensues between Alice and Doc, while Isaacs flees and Claire misses her chance to shoot him. Alice eventually subdues Doc, leaving him for Claire to execute in retribution for his treachery. Alice then strategically places the detonator in Wesker's hand, knowing it will activate as soon as he loses consciousness. As Claire and Alice pursue Isaacs, Alicia uploads her memories into the computer, preparing a unique gift. In their confrontation with Isaacs, Claire and Alice find their gunfire ineffective, as his cyborg enhancements grant him remarkable agility and strength. During the elevator's ascent, Isaacs engages both women in combat, swiftly incapacitating Claire before focusing on Alice. Armed only with a keyboard, Alice valiantly fights back, nearly pushing Isaacs over the edge, but he quickly regains control, forcing her to the brink instead. Alice narrowly avoids a collision with an approaching platform by kicking Isaacs and dodging out of the way. When the elevator halts, Claire regains consciousness and re-enters the fray, only to be swiftly overpowered by Isaacs once more. He then turns his attention to Alice, striking her multiple times and hurling her into a corridor rigged with laser traps. Alice skillfully evades the lasers by scaling walls and ceilings, then resumes her battle with Isaacs. He thrusts her through a wall, nearly causing her to fall, but she retaliates by injuring his leg with debris, continuing their fierce duel. Despite being tossed around the corridor, Alice responds with laughter and relentless resistance. As the lasers reactivate, Isaacs cruelly maneuvers Alice's hand towards them, threatening to sever her fingers. In a pivotal moment, Alice discreetly drops a pin, signaling that she had slipped a grenade into Isaacs's jacket amidst their scuffle. The grenade detonates, significantly weakening Isaacs and enabling Alice to seize the antidote. With time running out, Claire urges Alice to escape without her. Alice dashes from the Hive, poised to release the antidote, but is intercepted by Isaacs, who snatches it away. Just as he aims his gun at her, his clone, unable to bear the reality of being a duplicate, stabs the original Isaacs repeatedly. This distraction leads to both Isaacs and the clone being overwhelmed and killed by the undead. At the same time, Wesker succumbs, triggering the explosives that destroy the Hive and claim Alicia's life. Outside, Alice recovers the antivirus from Isaac's corpse and releases it, instantly annihilating the surrounding undead before she collapses. Later, Alice regains consciousness, learning that Claire has survived. The Red Queen appears, revealing that Alicia, before her death, transferred all her memories to Alice, granting her the childhood she never experienced. Alice then sets off on a bike, aware that while the antivirus will take years to fully eradicate the infection, she must continue battling monsters to safeguard humanity.